This is Fox 9 Good Day.
Welcome back. Fall wedding season has hit its peak.
Yes, and in a world where you are surrounded by Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, so many ideas, throw in Pinterest too for weddings, sometimes it helps to see some of those looks in person rather than just, on a photo. Twin Cities Bridal Show is back. This morning we are getting some wedding inspiration from Matthew Trettel from the Wedding Guys. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes.
It's wedding planning season again.
It always is.
Around for you?
Yeah.
It kind of is for me, but
Yes.
couples really start activating again right after the summer and getting ready because fall is the most popular time for weddings.
For sure. Let's first start fashion, men's fashion specifically.
Yeah, we usually don't
Yes,
talk
I
that.
like that.
I'm so
Yes.
excited about this.
Yeah.
So we have some amazing suits from Daniel's Custom Clothing. Grooms typically now are gravitating towards suits and they're getting custom suits done.
Not the
Kind of
tuxes.
not the rental
Okay.
tuxes so much anymore. So, and it's because look at what you can do.
Yeah.
I love this beautiful plaid, charcoal and gray. Love the paisley tie, peak lapel. Just a really, really classic sharp look.
So it's a little bit busier, but that's okay.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
It's so good in photos.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And a great way for the groom to stand out too.
Sure.
Traditionally the bride is always the one that has stood out, and this gives the groom an opportunity too.
And then you have something to show for after the wedding too. You don't have to return it. That's
Exactly. And something, that will translate really for a number of years after.
For sure.
The other piece is a beautiful dark navy suit. Again, peak lapel. I love the floral tie. Slim cuts are really popular, and that's just a really, really great suit.
Okay, obviously I don't know a lot about men's fashion. Peak lapel, does that just make it fancier?
Yeah. So there's different styles,
Okay.
and that's really popular right now.
Got it.
Thanks for asking. I wasn't even sure what he was talking about, Kelly. I'm going to be really honest with you. All right, let's talk about when it comes to decorating your tablescapes, that kind of stuff.
So it's really interesting. We create a section of the show called the Inspiration Station, and we curate 6 different unique themes.
Okay.
Barbie is hot this year.
Okay.
No surprise.
You've seen it everywhere,
Yes.
right? So one of our Inspiration Station sections is a focus on kind of a Barbie look. So definitely going into that pink vibe. And you're going to see that translating into weddings because it's super easy to translate into the fashion piece, the floral, the decor. One of the other really popular things is vineyards. We have so many beautiful vineyards around the region. And so we're doing a vineyard-inspired Inspiration Station as well. There's actually 6 different themes, which is fun.
Okay, so and those are just 2.
Those
so
are
you got
just
Barbie
2.
And vineyard.
Yep, and
Okay.
what's great is it pulls together floral fashion decor. It's kind of like seeing Pinterest come to life.
Sure.
And all curated by kind of our expert team.
I like that. Popular themes too that we are seeing. Are there seasonal themes? Like we're talking about fall. I mean, do people lean into that fall pumpkin gourd
Yes,
thing, or
definitely.
is that kind of
no,
a
people
no-go?
still do that.
Okay.
I love when people translate and create elements from the season. For one, it's usually less expensive if you're utilizing elements that are seasonal. It's great also from a menu standpoint. People sometimes don't necessarily think all the way of translating their look into their menu, but thinking how amazing a bisque or pumpkin soup would be, which is very different for a wedding.
Yeah.
Guests love an experience that's a little different than what the traditional chicken dinner would have been, right?
I feel like people are really leaning into to giving people this experience now, make it really memorable. We know planning a wedding is super overwhelming, and especially with like the internet, and like we mentioned with Pinterest and what kind of thing. What advice do you have for people who are trying to plan one and they don't really know where to start or what they should be doing?
Well, and that's where the shows come in.
Okay.
The Twin Cities Bridal Show is really the first step in kind of the planning process because it's like speed dating for your vendors that you need for your
Makes
wedding.
sense.
You get an opportunity to see them and talk to them and find out if they mesh with kind of your vision. They can also help you give guidance. Most couples haven't done this before, and so they're kind of like fish out of water. Like they don't know what they don't know, and our vendors are really helpful in that process. I always tell couples also to think about their budget, kind of have some ideas of kind of what they want to spend, and then allow your vendors to help guide that. If you go to a florist and show them a picture of a bouquet that you have to exactly have, it's going to cost you X. But if you go and show that picture to a florist and say, I'd like something like that, they can get creative and work within your budget. So utilize the vendors kind of as your asset and kind of your ally in putting together the wedding.
When it comes to going to a show like this, is it advantageous for someone who just got engaged and you're like far out from the actual date, or is it closer to kind of what's?
You know, it's interesting. We have a lot of couples that will go to multiple shows because they'll be in certain planning processes, and so think if they just got engaged, they might come to the show just specifically looking for photographers and reception venues, because that's the first thing they need to find. And then they might come to a second show, and they're looking for things a little further down the planning process, cakes and flowers and some of the details.
Maybe even before you're engaged, as a hint.
Yes, people do that.
Hey, honey, we're going to go somewhere this weekend.
It's great fact finding.
Here we are, yeah.
And I've asked this before, but I'm gonna ask it again. There's cake to eat.
Yes, there is so much cake on the show.
You just mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, it would be nice to taste
cake and donuts and other desserts. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's a really great thing. That's the part that I love too, is you get to taste cakes, you actually get to smell the flowers, stuff that you don't get to do on the internet.
Sure. Or you'd have to go to like 6 different shops all
Right.
around the metro and then narrow it down.
And who's got time for that?
Nobody.
So that's the shows make it so convenient.
Nobody. Matthew, since you're here, we want to get your take on here.
Yes.
Today we've been asking you on our Facebook page and our polls, what is the best season for a wedding? Obviously leading the way, fall, with 43% still leading the way. Would you agree, Matthew?
I totally agree.
Yeah? Oh.
It's the peak season for sure.
Still is.
Yeah,
I know it
still
always
is.
used to be.
So it used to be June, like going back 15, 20 years. Spring and summer weddings were really popular, and then there was this shift. People discovered that kind of the fall is a little bit more seasonal, although it's raining all the time now. So next year everybody will be like, oh, we don't want a fall wedding because it rains,
too hot.
right?
It's too hot
Right.
in October.
Who knows? All right, Matthew, thank you as always.
Yeah, for tickets to the Twin Cities Bridal Show, head to theweddingguys.com.